Hi and welcome. My name is Rob Scott from UC Today, and in this session I'm joined by Saif Ahmed, Director at SCB Global, and we'll be talking about how you can connect Microsoft Teams to your current PBX. Today we've got a really interesting topic, but before we jump in, why don't you give us a little bio and tell us a little bit about SCB Global, please?
Yeah, sure. So SCB Global was born out of Zemir Telecom, founded back in 2004. Back then, the company did lots of voice transits, which basically is carrying voice traffic all around the world for the tier 1 and tier 2 carriers. At one point, we were doing 21 million minutes a day, which is a phenomenal amount of traffic. Over time, the company went into corporate and enterprise voice by sort of 2008, 2009. And then the company was sort of renamed as Simple Business Limited, which then got renamed again to reflect what we were doing at the time, which was mainly global services, global voice services, and global unified communication services. So that's where SCB Global came from, sort of renamed back in 2016.
Great, thank you. And I'd just like to set the scene for a moment. Microsoft Teams now has 75 million daily active users. Their direct routing capability is just seems to be growing in demand more and more. So you're really in a great position at SCB Global with your Opto for Teams solution. But before we kind of jump into the technology, let's just talk about the state of the market. So why should you consider connecting your current PBX to Microsoft Teams?
During the time of lockdown, and of course the way people want to work now remotely, they cannot utilize those PBX solutions because they're very much on site based. It's very, very difficult to now go back to the business, to the financial director, and ask for more money to basically ditch the old product and start with a new cloud solution. So what we've done, and we've been working very hard to try and promote a solution whereby you can keep your existing PBX and existing phones, whichever vendor it's from, and we have a middle layer that very much connects Microsoft Teams to the PBX. And the cost of that is significantly fractional of what one would pay if they were to cancel and get rid of the existing PBX and move completely to cloud. So we are providing a sort of like a hybrid solution whereby they keep the existing hardware and PBX and then they move to the cloud. So that way, anybody from the organization who wants to work from home or remotely, they can, because they will have Microsoft Teams as their main communication tool. As much as the person who's working from the office, they will have the same interface, Microsoft Teams. So there won't be Opto for Teams, which is our product. There won't be the current PBX. Even the existing phones on their desk will be connected via Opto for Teams to Microsoft Teams.
Well, so that's really solving a major challenge, isn't it, for enterprises? Because they've got complex environments. You're absolutely right. They've got investments that they've made that are significant. So if you're providing the kind of glue between the Microsoft Teams environment and the current infrastructure, I think that's solving a real problem for enterprises right now. So just in terms of looking at the Microsoft Teams journey, I take it from your perspective, you're able to provide a kind of a 360 approach, I suppose, at SCB with this solution.
Essentially, we're trying to address a problem, a real challenge that is there for many organizations, especially mid-sized and enterprise. And as you've mentioned, many of them have got multiple offices in the UK, around the world. And to convert them and go through the change management in order to deploy a new UC on the cloud is a major challenge. And the fact that many companies have got less budget now because of the current economic situation as well. So the challenge is easily resolved by our middleware. And we're here to enable them and put them on the cloud with the Opto for Teams.
And can you connect any type of phone system to Opto for Teams?
Oh, absolutely. So we're not really specific or Opta for Teams is not specific for any vendor. So whether you have Cisco, Avaya, Mitel, Asterix, NEC, it doesn't really matter which PBX you have, because our middle layer will work with any of them and connect up the PBX and their phones to Microsoft Teams. And the deployment actually is not very complicated. It's quite straightforward install. We've been working with PBXs for many years, 15 years, and our telco heritage has enabled us to understand voice to that extent that we can meet any challenge, any voice challenge, and come up with a solution. In terms of a typical deployment, it takes only a few days, a week. So it's very quick and easy.
So I'm presuming the PBX needs to be a SIP-enabled PBX to be able to connect to the cloud, does it? Or can you work around that?
We can even work around that. We can, even if some organizations, they may have some offices still on ISDN, and it's entirely possible. We know that some offices haven't converted to SIP yet, either because it's a legacy old system or the financial situation hasn't enabled it. They can still keep their existing ISDN, of course, not for very long, because most ISDNs are going to be shut off, they're going to be cancelled. But if they want to run it until then, for example, in the UK, it's about 2025, some other country, it's a bit earlier than that, we can enable that PBX to run to that date and then convert them to SIP, or even move them to cloud then. So we're helping them to gradually move to cloud if that's what they want to do. If they don't want to have complete cloud adoption, they want to have a hybrid approach where some offices are on the cloud, some offices are still on the PBX. We can integrate the whole lot into one solution, which will be, if you like, Microsoft Teams enabled solution.
Great. So just I want to draw a scenario, but I suppose if you're an organization and you've just deployed your staff remotely to home during the pandemic, they're using Microsoft Teams, but they've left their phone system in the office. What you're saying is that you could, enable that office phone system, that PBX platform, with direct routing capabilities with Microsoft Teams, and then connect those users back into the organization for voice calls. Is that fair to say?
It is absolutely what it is, and our product does exactly what it says on the tin. We are enabling your PBX, whatever PBX you have. We will enable that to be on the cloud through Microsoft Teams. So the existing phones or the existing routing, whether it be through SIP or ISDN, the existing numbers, all of those stay with the end users and the organization. And we are essentially going to enable the new the new skin, the new UC skin, to be Microsoft Teams. And behind that, we have our middleware layer, which will be Opta for Teams, talking directly to the PBX. Going back to your point about solving a major solution, many years ago, I was a buyer myself. I was head of IT. And when we used to buy, one of the biggest challenges was, of course, to get that project over the hurdle through the finance director's approval. And that challenge, it's still there for many IT directors, heads of IT. And what we're doing is enabling that major piece of hurdle to be removed, whereby it doesn't cost you anything and enables your workforce to work from home or wherever they want to work from, or office, without any capital outlay. And most likely, most organizations will actually pay less ongoing. So that's a major challenge that we're solving.
Saif, what's the best way for customers to get in touch and find out more?
Yeah, it's very easy. You can email us, info@scb-global.com. You can visit our website, scb-global.com, and we're here to help you. We will try and get back to you.
And I believe you've even got an offer on at the moment. Is that correct?
Absolutely. We're giving 30 days free trial. So if you want 10, 15, 20, 100 extensions to be trialed, or you want to test it out, it's for free, and we will do that. It's no problem.
Great. Well, thanks to everyone for tuning in today. It's been great to see you. Thanks, Saif, for joining me. And if you've enjoyed today's session, please do give us a quick like or a share on social media. It's always appreciated. Thanks for watching.